My beloved child, you do not need to come before me with polished words, as though you were presenting yourself before a distant throne. I am not looking for perfection in what you say. I am listening for the honesty hidden beneath every trembling beat of your heart. There are sighs that to you are only weariness, but to me are deep and secret prayers. There are tears you do not know how to explain, but I understood them before they ever fell. So, do not be afraid when you do not know where to begin. Just come, open your heart, speak to me with all the broken truth still within you. I do not turn away from your weakness. I bend closer. I do not rebuke you, because there are still many things unclear. I am the one who gives light step by step. Until you can rise again in peace, say to me, Almighty Father, the one who knows all that is hidden deep within me. Today I come before you, not with a false appearance of strength, nor with perfectly arranged petitions. I come as a weary child, still carrying the marks of days gone by, yet still longing to place myself beneath the healing hand of the Father. I do not fully understand why some things had to break, why some people had to leave, why some doors I once prayed for were closed before my eyes, but I choose to believe that you never act without purpose. Even when I can only see loss, you are quietly saving me from what no longer belongs to my journey. Even when I think something has been taken from me, you are clearing the space to sow something new. My child, there are things I take from your hands, not because I want to hurt you, but because they have quietly weighed you down for too long. There are connections you call familiar, but their season has ended in my plan. There are memories you hold as proof of love, but in truth, they are keeping you in a place I have called you to leave. Do not look back simply because you mourn the old. Do not pitch your tent in a land I only permitted you to pass through. When I pull up the bitter roots within you, it may hurt, but it is the pain of liberation, not destruction. When I touch the roots of fear, dependence, lack, and self-blame, you may tremble, but I do not do this to shame you. I do it so you no longer have to live under the invisible cords that once pulled you back into weary cycles. So continue to pray, Merciful Father, do not let me cling to the things you are gently removing from my life. Give me the courage to let go without resentment, to walk forward without looking back in regret, to remain silent without bitterness, and to trust without needing to see the entire road. Remove from me the torn baggage of yesterday, the words that once made me doubt myself, the abandonments that made me afraid to love, the times I was used that caused me to close my heart, the misunderstandings that made me feel unseen. I do not want to carry these fragments into the new season. Heal me in the deepest place, not merely covering my wound with a thin layer of fragile peace, but renewing me from the roots so I may live more lightly, purely, and freely. My beloved child, I know you have had days when the gaze of others made you unsteady. One compliment could lift you up. One cold word could bring you down. One silence could make you wonder whether you were still worthy of being loved. But I want to teach you another kind of steadiness. The steadiness that does not come from others understanding you, staying with you, or confirming your worth. It comes from knowing that I have called you by name, formed you, kept you, and never withdrawn my love from you. You are not what others have done to you. You are not the words they once spoke about you. You are not the wound they left behind. You are the child I cherish, the one I created for light, the one I am restoring by my unchanging faithfulness. Say to me, Faithful Father, teach me to love without losing myself, to give without turning love into chains, to care without becoming dependent on human response. Teach me to stand firm, even when no other hand is holding mine, because you yourself are the place where I find support. Heal the places in me that were once disregarded, used for the benefit of others, and left behind in silent rooms. Do not let me continue seeing myself through the lens of betrayal, but through your eyes. Restore the good image you placed in me from the beginning, so that I no longer live as one distorted by the past, but as one renewed by the gentle presence of the Father. Do you remember Elijah, who once fled into the wilderness, exhausted to the point of no longer wanting to go on? He had stood before great power, had seen fire from heaven, had witnessed a miraculous answer. Yet afterward, a single wave of fear was enough to drain him and send him running. But I did not come to him with heavy rebuke. I gave him rest, gave him food, gave him water, and then led him to a place where he could hear my voice in gentleness. Do you see? Even the strong sometimes need to be upheld. Even the courageous sometimes become so tired they no longer know what to ask for. And I do not despise that weariness. I care for you before I ask you to take the next step. I nourish you again with tenderness before I call you back to the journey. So when you see yourself as weak, do not think I have gone far away. It may be that in that very moment, I am closest to you, covering you with a healing silence you have not yet recognized. Therefore, continue to pray, Lord, the one who created me and never abandons me. I place before you the exhaustion I have tried to hide for too long. There have been times when I thought silence meant you were not listening, but now I ask to learn to trust that even in that silence, you are still working deeply. Help me not to demand every answer before I am willing to be at peace. Help me to know that your presence with me is enough for me to continue. If I do not yet understand, let me believe. If I do not yet see, let me walk. If I am not yet strong, let me lean on your strength. Rewrite my path with mercy, and do not let the past hold the pen over my future anymore. Give me new strength so I do not return to the place that drained me. Do not seek life in what has died, and do not mistake familiarity for peace. My beloved child, I hear every one of these words. I receive both what you are able to say and what you do not yet have the strength to name. I will not rush you through your pain as though it were insignificant. I will walk with you through every layer of healing, every stage of release, every season of learning to trust again. But you must also trust me enough to move forward. Do not remain where you are simply because what lies ahead is still unclear. The light I give today is enough for today's step. Tomorrow will have tomorrow's grace. And as you walk, you will realize that I am not merely standing at the end of the road waiting for you. I am walking beside you, guarding every step, sustaining every breath, teaching you to live no longer defined by what is old. So let your prayer not end in fear, but in surrender. Tell me that you belong to me. Tell me that you are willing to be made new. Tell me that even though many things remain unclear, you still choose to walk with me, and I, your Father, will lead you out of the old lands, wash away the traces of sorrow, rebuild within you a clear and gentle peace, and place a new song in your life. Not the song of one who has never been wounded, but the song of one who has been touched by me, lifted by me, restored by me, and led into a brighter season within my unchanging love. My beloved child, do not treat what I have placed within you as a passing moment, and then allow it to dissolve into the noise of the days. My grace did not come to you merely to move your emotions for an instant, but to build within you a new life, a new breath, a new way of seeing, and a new steadfastness. Therefore, guard the garden within you with gentle watchfulness, Do not let busyness become the wind that carries away the seeds I have sown. Do not let small yet persistent worries blur the sound of my voice calling you. Do not let the sweet invitations of the world make you forget that true beauty is not found in what others praise, but in the fact that you still belong to me, are still being led by me, and still allow my light to touch every hidden corner of your life. What I have done within you is precious. Cherish it, not with fear, but with gratitude and daily faithfulness. There will be times when you think you have already arrived, because your heart begins to feel more peaceful. Your steps tremble less, your eyes grow brighter, and the things that once bound you no longer hold you as before. But my child, that is not the end. It is a sign that you are walking in the right direction. I do not want you to be only partly healed, lifted up once, or comforted for one season. I want to lead you deeper into the place where you do not only know me through what I give, but through my presence itself, where you do not only come to me when you need rescue, but remain with me because you have realized that my love is your home. There are still many cool streams you have not yet drunk from, many green fields you have not yet walked through, much tenderness you have not yet fully understood, and much power you have not yet experienced. Do not stop at the threshold when I am opening before you the whole palace of grace. Therefore, when I tell you to rise, I am not telling you to rise by your own strength. I know you have days when you are tired, hours when your heart is weak, moments when you look at yourself and think you are not ready enough. But my beloved child, I do not call the strong, so they may prove something to me. I call those who know how to depend on me, so that my strength may be revealed in their humility. You do not need to wait until every crack has disappeared before you can come near to me. You do not need to gather every answer before you can keep walking. You do not need to fix everything by yourself before you return. It is precisely when you come to me in truth that I begin to renew you. It is precisely when you give me the tangled parts that I set them back in order with peace. It is precisely when you admit that you need me that the door of restoration has already opened. Remember the story of Peter on the stormy night. When he saw me walking on the water, he dared to leave the boat and come toward me. But when the wind rose, his heart wavered, his eyes turned away from me, and he began to sink. I did not stand far off and rebuke him for his imperfection. I stretched out my hand, took hold of him, and lifted him from the waters that were swallowing his courage. Do you see? I do not despise the trembling steps of someone trying to come toward me. I do not reject you, simply because you once looked at the wind and became afraid. What delights my heart is not that you have never wavered, but that in the middle of wavering, you still know to call on me. Some steps upon the water begin with faith and are then tested by strong winds, but my hand is always closer than the depths. When you are about to sink, I do not come to condemn, I come to take hold of you. So do not let one fall make you think the journey is over. Do not let dust on your garment cause you to forget that you are still the child I love. Do not let the voice of shame persuade you that I have grown tired of lifting you one more time. I am your father. My patience is not limited like human patience. When a child learns to walk, the father does not count every fall in order to punish him, but smiles at every time he rises and opens his arms to receive each small step. I am the same with you. I see the effort others do not see. I know the hidden battles you have never told. I understand the times you chose what was right, even when your heart ached. The times you still prayed even when you had no words left. The times you kept moving forward, even when there was only a thin ray of light before you. To me, one small step in trust is more precious than a long race in pride. The light I give you today may not illuminate the entire road, but it is enough to keep you from standing still in fear. I do not always reveal the whole journey, because I want you to learn to hold my hand, not merely hold a map. If you knew every turn, you might rely on your own understanding and forget to rely on me. But when you can only see the next step, you learn the intimacy of walking with me each day. I have gone before you to prepare the way. I walk beside you to keep your heart from loneliness. And I am also the one waiting for you at the end of the journey, where every tear is wiped away, every wound is clothed with meaning, and everything unfinished is completed in joy that never fades. You are not walking toward an empty unknown. You are walking toward my embrace. From now on, let the new thing within you grow through small but steady choices. Choose to remain in the light when darkness invites you back to the old path. Choose to listen when your heart wants to hurry. Choose gratitude when your eyes have not yet seen the full result. Choose forgiveness when bitterness wants to take root. Choose to keep walking when fear whispers that you cannot do it. Each of these choices is like a stone being laid down, and little by little, I will use them to build a firm path beneath your feet. You are no longer a person defined by yesterday. You are no longer a captive of what is old. I have called you by a new name, clothed you with a new dignity, and opened a new season before you. What I began was not meant to be abandoned halfway. The hand that started it will also complete it at the right time. There will come a day when you look back and realize that even the confusing roads were used by me to shape you. The seasons when you thought you were only surviving were actually seasons in which I taught you endurance. The times when you thought you were being delayed were actually the times when I was laying a deeper foundation. The wounds you once wanted to hide will become places where my light shines through to strengthen many others. You are not being restored only for yourself. I am making your life into cool water for those who are dry, into comfort for those who are weary, into a gentle sign that true love still exists, truth still prevails, and grace can still renew all things that seem damaged beyond repair. When you allow me to continue leading you, you will not only reflect my beauty, you will carry the life I have placed within to places that need hope. So rise, my beloved child, not as one who no longer has weakness, but as one who knows they are being upheld, not as one who understands everything, but as one who trusts that the one who leads the way is faithful. When you are tired, lean on me. When you lose direction, return to my voice. When you tremble, place your hand in mine. When you fall, let me lift you up. Wipe away the dust from the road, heal the aching places, and walk on with you. I will not leave you halfway through the journey. I do not love you halfway. I did not call you out of the old, only to abandon you in the wilderness. I am here, in today, in tomorrow, in every breath of the journey. Guard what I have done within you, continue walking with me, and trust that the new thing I am building will grow brighter and brighter until you stand in complete joy, where all things are fulfilled in my eternal love. My beloved child, let me place within your heart a discernment that is gentle yet firm. What truly comes from love will never pull you away from the light. True love does not force you to ignore what is wrong, bow your head before falsehood, or shrink your voice just to preserve a fragile relationship. If any attachment demands that you trade away the peace I placed within you, bury what you know is right, or cover error with sweet justifications, then pause and look clearly. I did not create you to live in a cage decorated with emotion. I created you to walk in holy freedom, where your heart is pure, your words are upright, and the love you receive does not drain you, but draws you closer to me each day. There are things that look like tenderness at first glance, but inside are hidden cords of bondage. There are words that sound like care, but are in truth a veil covering control. There are arms that seem protective, yet gradually make you afraid to speak the truth, afraid to live rightly, afraid to become the person I have called you to be. My child, what comes from me will not make you live with two faces, one to please others and another to hide your unrest before me. What comes from me brings clarity. It may correct you, refine you, and make you face the parts of you that are still weak. But it will not push you into the darkness of compromise. True love may make you humble, but it will not make you cowardly. It may make you gentle, but it will not cause you to lose your integrity. It may teach you patience, but it will not require you to tolerate what is drawing you away from my ways. Therefore, do not be afraid when I begin to shine light on the connections around you. There are people near you who do not help you grow in truth. There are things you once considered safe, but in reality, they were merely places where you had become accustomed to silence. Some relationships have lasted a long time, not because they were anointed by me, but because you feared loss, feared loneliness, feared beginning again, and feared being misunderstood when you chose what was right. But I speak to you with a father's heart. It is better for you to walk a lonely stretch of road in purity than to stand crowded among voices that make you forget the dignity I have placed upon you. Any loss that frees you from falsehood is not disaster. It is a door of grace. When I remove from your hands what is weakening you, I am not punishing you. I am saving you from a price you were not born to pay. Remember the story of Joseph in Potiphar's house. That young man was entrusted with much and lived in a place of power, opportunity, and temptation covered in an attractive appearance. When the wrongful invitation came, it did not come like threatening thunder, but with intimate persuasion, with an opportunity that seemed hidden, with the promise that no one would see, no one would know, and no one would suffer consequences. But Joseph understood that faithfulness is measured not only in the temple, but also in the private room, where no one is watching. He chose to flee from what could have stained his calling, even though afterward he suffered injustice and was thrown into a dark prison. Do you see? Sometimes the right choice does not immediately bring a pleasant reward. Sometimes it leads you through a season of being misunderstood. But I never forget the one who chooses purity when no one defends them. The road that seemed loss became the very path that led Joseph to the place I had prepared beforehand. What you refuse today out of reverence for me may be the very thing that keeps you from losing tomorrow's future. Therefore, when a relationship requires you to hide the truth, do not call it love. When someone wants you to ignore what is wearing down your purity, do not call it compassion. When an affection causes you to avoid my voice, avoid the light, and avoid the warning in your heart, understand that such a thing is not worthy to sit on the throne of your life. Love that comes from me is not afraid of truth, because it is born in truth. It is not afraid of light, because it has nothing to hide in darkness. It does not exhaust you by forcing you to always play the role of being fine, while inwardly you are drained by contradictions you dare not name. True love gives you room to breathe, strength to say what is right, courage to correct what is wrong, and peace when you must choose me above every other call. I know there are moments when you hesitate, because your heart is not made of stone. You have loved hoped, invested, and prayed that something would become good. I do not blame you for once wanting to keep a person, a place, a promise, or a memory. I see your sincerity. But my beloved child, your sincerity cannot turn what does not belong to me into something holy. Your tears cannot cleanse a foundation built on falsehood. Your patience was not given to you to nourish the things that are slowly extinguishing the light. Within you, I teach you to forgive, but I do not teach you to offer yourself repeatedly to harm. I teach you to love, but I do not teach you to trade truth for acceptance. I teach you to be gentle, but I also teach you to leave the hand that is pulling you down into the abyss. The enemy of what is good is very skilled at disguise. It does not always come through obvious evil that you can easily recognize. Many times it comes through a very soothing feeling, a beautiful promise, a closeness that makes you feel needed. And then little by little, it causes you to ignore small warnings. At first, it is only one silence before something wrong. Then one time telling yourself it is not serious. Then one time avoiding prayer about it because you know I will touch it. In this way, the gray area expands, and what once grieved your heart becomes something you learn to endure. But I do not want you to become accustomed to darkness. I want you to become sensitive to light. I want you to recognize even small deviations before they become great chains. Because I love you, I will remind you because I protect you. I will make your heart uneasy before things others call normal, but I know are not meant for you. If someone truly loves you in what is good, they will not see your obedience as a threat. They will not become angry when you choose what is right. They will not mock your purity or force you to become smaller so they can remain comfortable in their own wrongdoing. The person I place near you will not be perfect, but they will honor the light I am placing upon your life. They may learn with you, be corrected with you, and grow with you. They will not pull you into a place where you must constantly apologize for wanting to live uprightly. Remember this. True love does not require you to betray your calling in order to prove your loyalty. Whatever forces you farther from me so you can be closer to another person is not the gift I have prepared for you. So today, let your hands open. Do not hold tightly to what is suffocating you, simply because you fear the emptiness after letting go. That empty space is not the end. It may be the place where I begin to sow something new. When you release an impure attachment, you do not lose love. You are making room for love to be restored in its true form. When you leave a place that demands compromise, you have not failed. You are returning to the dignity I clothed you with. When you choose light, even if it means enduring loneliness for a season, you are not abandoned. I am walking beside you, closer than your breath, gentler than every human comfort, more faithful than every promise that once disappointed you. Choose what is pure, not because you are afraid of losing blessing, but because you know you are loved too deeply to live beneath your calling. Let your words be upright, your decisions be illuminated by truth, and your heart not be bought by any affection that demands you close your eyes to darkness. I do not take away from you what is good. I only separate you from what disguises itself as good while quietly drawing you away from me. And when you are brave enough to release what is false, I will teach you to recognize what is true. What is true will not make you beg to be respected. What is true will not cause you to lose your peace. What is true will lead you closer to me, make you brighter, stronger, gentler, and freer. Trust me in this separation, because my hand never removes without a redemptive purpose. I am keeping you, purifying your path, and preparing for you a love that will not make you bow before darkness, but will stand with you in my light. When you see yourself moving slowly, do not despise that rhythm. A great tree does not grow in one night. A river does not carve a valley by passing through only once, and a human heart is not made steadfast in a single moment. I am teaching you to move according to the rhythm of grace, not the rhythm of comparison. Some people think they are moving quickly, yet they are drifting far from what I desire. Others think they are being held back, yet in truth, I am laying a deeper foundation within them. Look back, and you will see that every small step has carried you out of places you once thought you could never overcome. The days when you still prayed though you were weary. The times when you still chose what was right though no one praised you. The moments when you still held on to hope though your eyes had not yet seen the result. All of these are remembered by me. No tear is forgotten. No act of love falls into meaninglessness, and no waiting in me is ever considered wasted. So let your words become gentle yet firm, fewer but deeper, more humble yet filled with greater light. Speak what brings life, but also live in such a way that those words have a place to dwell. Wait, but do not fall asleep. Be watchful, but do not panic. Prepare, but do not force yourself to open doors I have not opened. When the time comes, you will know, because my peace will go before you like a lamp guiding the way. And for today, simply do your part with a pure heart. Listen, trust, sow what is good, keep your lips from despair, and let your hands be ready for the work I entrust to you. I am with you in the quiet, in the small step, in the delay, in every word you lift up with faith. And what I am building within you will not collapse, because it is not built on the haste of the world, but on my eternal faithfulness.